Greetings, Moonlight citizens. This is your man on the moon speaking, your Moonlight King addressing you now. Fittingly that I'm doing so, as on this one, we're going to get very, very space centric, and we're going to get very alien centric to say a thing. Is to go into the more sci fi elements of Moonlight Kingdom Reviews, as we will be reviewing The Storming of Area 51 Netflix documentary. That's right, folks. We're going to be reviewing Trainwreck, as it's called. It's part of these Trainwreck series. It's called Trainwreck, Storm Area 51. I saw this episode. I've seen a couple of Trainwreck episodes, but this one stuck out the most. It's right up there with Poop Cruise and Mayor of Mayhem, but this is the one I want to talk about. The storming of Area 51 in this episode of Moonlight Kingdom Reviews. And as always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all them nice things for more episodes of Moonlight Kingdom Reviews, Moonlight Kingdom Podcast, and gaming-centric episodes in Feel the Mode. And you'll get that along with more and this in, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Anyway, let's get into this one now. Episode 1, Naruto Run to Area 51. This all started with a dude named Matty. He made a shitpost on Facebook in which he pitched this idea to storm Area 51 with the line, well, they can't get all of us. Not thinking anything of it, as at the time he only had 40 followers. Next time he checked, there were thousands of people who'd interacted with it. Thousands. This was back in the days where people could go viral by doing the most innocuous thing. People can still go viral by doing the most random thing. Just ask the Hawk Tour girl. But anyway, his thousands of people are interacting with it. People from all over the country are talking about it. People in other countries are talking about the Storm Area 51 idea. The shit goes viral. There's even battle plans being drawn on how they're going to do it once they get there. There's a battle plan in which the Kyles are the first wave and the anti-vax kids are the second wave. Karens are the third wave in this huge planned siege that's really just a topographical map that's been covered in squiggles. So kind of gives a look into the inside of there wasn't much in the way of planning of this so-called event, which you can kind of understand given the fact that this event was started as a joke, no real plan to speak of, and now people are formulating battle strategies that could be viewed as a joke because, well, this ain't much of a plan. Even this plan to storm the place is a joke because there's a bunch of squiggles on it with the names Kyle and, Chads and Karens on it. Like, there's going to be waves of people storming Area 51 to get inside and whatever. That's neither here nor there. That shows the disorganized nature of it all. But yeah, the documentary shows this guy named Zeke Spector, and he worked for Vice TV. There's this comedian named D, and they were interviewing people on aliens and the plan to storm Area 51 as more and more people signed up to join Area 51. To join the Area 51 storming, and even the military started getting wind of this, around about this time, given all the social media activity going on. You see, Area 51 is in Rachel, Nevada. And in this place, near that area, in the town of Rachel, there's this one restaurant, and it's got 10 rooms in this little hotel. In this town, around this growing movement, the person running this hotel has booked out all the rooms, and they kept getting phone calls from people wanting to book camping spots. So she was totally unaware of why. Until randomly, one of her kids showed her the meme, and to which she thought at the time, like, this is stupid. So it's like, yeah, you can see the more older generation looking at this mere, even the idea of it all and thinking like, well, this is some dumb shit. Like a bunch of nerds are going to come together and, storm Area 51. Like why on earth would you gain from this? But at least she's going to be able to make some money off of it. So there's that. Now you can tell this event was happening a while ago because when, it gets to mainstream news covering the event, they show a shot of Trevor Noah on The Daily Show talking about this thing. And you even see Billie Eilish mentioned in here, and her hair was still green. And it all culminates in this area. This thing gets so much buzz that even Pornhub gets in on it. This culminates in an Area 51 Pornhub sex tape that has almost 1 million views and begins the spreading of the phrase, clap me some alien cheeks. Ugh. A quote here says, "I feel like I was on the doorstep of fame," said Matty, who started all this. And hearing that he just thought the whole thing at this point, given all the attention it got so far, was beyond him. Yet he's under the impression that he's going to be skyrocketed to fame and success off it somehow. And it's just the whole time I'm sitting there wondering how. How are you going to get famous off this? I mean, he ain't monetized this in any way. He's, you know, back then, and by the looks of things, he still hasn't monetized it even now. There's no merch, there's no content, there's like he's not doing anything to like springboard himself into a content creator job as modern day content creators would have. If this was Logan Paul who started this whole Stogan, if Logan Paul had started the whole Area 51 thing, the Area 51 storming idea, or Jake Paul had started it, or Mr. Beast or KSI, if any of those dudes had started this Area 51 storming idea, they'd get rich. They'd have figured out a way to get rich off of it before getting off the shit. There would be shirts, there'd be fucking snacks, there would be music videos, YouTube videos, shorts, so many things to make money off of this. And this guy did none of that. Yet he figured this was his doorstep to fame. Like, bro, even the Hawk Tour girl was able to capitalize off the Hawk Tour, man. Like, she had merch, she had, engagements she showed up in. She showed up at like a country, like this country western event. She had appearances and shit. She was smart with this. She wasn't this guy. She wasn't the person who was just gonna ride off the wave of the infamy generated by starting the whole thing and, being the face of it. Like, what are you gaining from here? How are you gaining? How are you making any money doing this? A lot of people are spending money on this, it seems, but you're not spending any money. You're not gaining any money neither. You'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be famous off this. What were you doing before this, man? Like, the guy worked in a vape shop before this started. Like, and as this shit was going on, he was still working in a vape shop. It wasn't like he quit his job to promote the storming of Air 51 or anything like that, or had any kind of, you know, things he could profit off of generated by this. Like, damn, it wasn't like he did this specifically to grow his social media following or anything like that. This don't make sense. But this dude is under the impression that he is going to be famous off this. What the hell? Ugh, whatever. The dude basically had the idea for his very own fire festival / Project X out in the desert with this guy. His name was Disco Donnie, after someone else suggested doing an EDM festival by Area 51. Even though the idea to turn Storm Area 51 into a party / festival wasn't even his idea. That says something to the level of creativity behind this whole ordeal and the level of organization behind this whole ordeal. Because, man, normally music festivals are planned like 9 months in advance. But this one had like 8 weeks. And unlike Fire Festival, the Disco Donnie guy didn't want to announce anything until he was sure they could do it. Which, that's good on you, Donnie. I mean, it's not good on you for saying yes to this nonsense, because what the fuck? What kind of festival are you going to try and are you managed to arrange in 8 weeks? You can arrange a house party in 8 weeks. You can do that. You can arrange a block party in 8 weeks. But a huge festival with maybe thousands of people from all over the world coming in on the level of like, what, your very own Coachella, your own mini Coachella, you're not going to pull that in 8 weeks. Like, there's no way that's going to happen. You're not going to scout the location, make sure the area is safe, and then get water and electricity out to the middle of nowhere, get utilities out to the middle of nowhere, food, security, all that. You're not going to do all that in 8 weeks. Are you nuts? Like, that's not going to happen. The fact they even tried to do something of this level this quickly is just, it says a lot about the slapdash nature of it all. But yeah, the dude Matty, he does this interview with Inside Edition, and this is such a buzz that people are following him on social media. People are trying to get interviews with him. People are actually starting to look into this guy, and he does this interview with Inside Edition where he's dressed in like full-on Naruto gear. He's just out and about in the neighborhood he lives in. And he even does a Naruto run on TV where he runs up running straight into a damn bush. If that isn't a sign of things to come. I don't know what is. This dude did a Naruto run showing off like how him and others were gonna get Area 51, and he ends up just crashing right into a damn bush. Just if that wasn't a sign of the way this was going, I don't know, man. I don't know what is. Then, and only then, in that moment, does he state that he just did all this as a joke. This was initially a joke. He wasn't serious in the beginning of storming Area 51, but it's taken on life of his own. And after this interview, his name is everywhere. Girls start fangirling for him. Dudes start wanting to meet him, and other dudes come out of nowhere saying they were friends with his in high school. And the guy actually looks through a lot of these messages and was like, "Yeah, this is bullshit. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who any of these people are. He didn't have that many friends." It's like it was kind of like, this is bullshit. These people claiming they were my friend in high school. I didn't have friends in high school. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying the man didn't have friends, but it gave off that vibe. Like, none of these people, I don't know any of these fucking people. These people are lying to you. Like, they're claiming to be my friend and trying to write off the success. I don't know who they are. I've never met them in my life. But here they are claiming they know me. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Meanwhile, back in the town of Rachel, this is where the festival's gonna happen. All these people are gonna come here and they're gonna, storm Area 51, and they're also gonna have this big music festival in the town of Rachel. But the residents of Rachel, aside from Connie, the owner of the, restaurant and motel, she ain't having none of this stuff. They ain't having none of this stuff. Sorry. The residents aren't having any of this. The restaurant owner, Connie, and the sheriff think that, well, Matty is just some punk kid who's doing this for the fun of it and not questioning any potential consequences that may result in this. Consequences of transporting potentially hundreds of people into the middle of nowhere. They could run into scorpions or snakes or dehydration, heat exhaustion, serious sunburns, stuff like that needs to be put into consideration. And at this point, it seemingly hasn't. But yeah. Moving forward in the story, at this point, Matty and Disco Donnie end up going to Connie's restaurant, the place called the Little Alien. Yeah, get it? Because it sounds like Little Alien, but it's Little Alien. Anyway, they try to book a place to have their EDM festival in 6 weeks now. For as much as it's not Fire Festival, this is really turning into some Fire Festival with aliens shit. As they try to let them host the festival in the town, but the people who live there don't want it to happen, especially one guy. George? I don't know. I guess I messed up. Who was one guy, the one Swedish sounding dude? He was going to stop this by any means necessary. At that point, that's when the big guns came in. The Air Force. Matty, upon hearing that the Air Force telling people, the Air Force base that Area 51 sits on, that sits on Area 51, upon hearing that those people are ready and willing to open fire on anybody who tries to storm Area 51 as a way to protect its military assets, he's sitting there sweating like, oh, now I've got people coming to a real place and, who can get really hurt. How the fuck did it come to this? Bro, what did you think? No, really, what did you think you were going to do? Like, if this actually became a reality, what did you think you were going to do? You were going to host the EDM festival and then that would be it? What about the actual storming? When you put Storm Area 51, you didn't think there'd be some people in there who might actually want to storm the place? And you didn't think that maybe, just maybe, the fucking U.S. Air Force might have something to say about that? Not just something to say, but something to do? For heaven's sake, man. In the U.S., in a lot of U.S. states, you're allowed to shoot somebody if they trespass on your land. What do you think the Army is going to do if a wave of people try to trespass on a U.S. Air Force base? For heaven's sake. Ugh. Now the message is, at this point, now that the Army the Air Force has let it be known what they're willing to do, and there hasn't been any signs that the event is going to be shut down. As far as everyone knows, it's still going on. Once the military tells people like, yeah, we're gonna shoot anyone who comes near to protect our military assets. The moment that stuff like that starts happening, the messages that Matty gets start getting more disturbing. At this point, people start talking about bringing weapons and firing on the guards if need be, and some people even started threatening him. That's when things really started spiraling, because soon enough, Connie starts getting threatened with death threats. The sheriff's office gets swarmed with phone calls. So many phone calls to the point that it crashes the phone system, and the county they're in, ends up declaring this state of emergency, all culminating with the damn FBI showing up at Matty's house. And that's where part one of this documentary ends. The feds have arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, the storming of Area 51 has now become a federal issue. First, the cops, the cops got notified down at the sheriff's office. The U.S. Air Force got notified what was going on. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the news got notified. And now, finally, it is culminating in what might just be the biggest roadblock in all of this story: the FBI. And that is where we are going to end it on this episode of Moonlight Kingdom Reviews. I'm going to tell you what I think about the whole thing when I do part two, but so far, I've seen part one. It was a very kind of annoying story, I'm going to be honest, because it's like, bro, what the heck did you think was going to happen? You invited all these fucking people to come to Area 51, and the moment the shit started becoming a possibility that, hey, people might actually show up here. People might actually arrive to Area 51 looking to storm the place, looking for alien cheeks to clap, and that people might get shot doing this. The moment all that shit hit your mind, you didn't think I should probably go back on the news again and tell people not to show up. Nah, you were like, man, this is my ticket to fame. I'm gonna get so famous off of this shit, and yet you did nothing to like actually attempt to get famous. Like, you didn't do anything. You weren't like actively promoting the event or keeping the conversation of the event going by posting videos about it. Disco Donnie was doing that. Connie was doing that when she was like letting y'all stay at the Alien and, trying to set the place up to be able to take all these people coming in. The people in the town of Rachel were doing more promotion by trying to shut the shit down. The U.S. Army put more promotion into this by telling people about it and telling people what they were willing to do to anyone trying to come near. Like, a lot of people put a lot of effort into making this thing what it was. The one guy who didn't do a whole lot was the guy who started it. The heck is wrong with this, man? Like, the lack of organization, the lack of just effort put in, it seems, in this first part. It's really got me like, that's what really it's got me annoyed a little bit. Like, all this guy did was make a shit post and like, hey, it's gonna be kind of funny, people see this shit. And then everyone took it seriously, and it was like, oh shit, well, I guess we can do a music festival, which is an idea he got from someone else, except he ain't got no money. He doesn't have any he doesn't have music festival money. He doesn't have money to rent a space. And he's not even renting a space since it's in the middle of nowhere, which is close to Area 51. The town of Rachel. He doesn't have money to make a space, which is a whole other story. Which, holy effing shit, man. He has to rely on help from Disco Donnie to talk to people and get Pornhub involved and all this shit. Other people made storming Area 51 the big deal it is. The guy who actually did it, all that guy did was post something on social media. That's it. A man who posted something on social media gained a level of infamy thanks to the hard work, the extrapolations, the exaggerations, the hyperbole, and the effort put in by other people. Folks, we need to be more careful with who we make famous. Because, yeah, that's the moral of this part one. I'm just saying we need to be a lot more careful and scrutinizing and just discriminatory when it comes to who it is we do and don't make famous and for what they become famous for. That's what I got to say on that in part one of Storm Area 51, which I'm going to call Run Naruto Run. Yeah. All right, folks, I've been your man on the moon, the Moonlight King, here with this episode of Moonlight Kingdom Reviews. We are reviewing Trainwreck, Storm Area 51, Part 1. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all them nice things. I've been your host, the Moonlight King, and I'm wishing y'all the day you deserve. You don't need to have the day you deserve. Have the day you want to have. Peace.